Welcome back to our international viewers, and thanks for joining us once again for our daily English news edition. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. The experts were not able to meet their deadline for completing the justice reform today. The Ad Hoc Commission for Justice Reform was scheduled to hold a meeting today to review the opinions of the experts, but the meeting was never held. Officially, there was no reason given for the cancellation, but our sources tell us that there were some disagreements among the majority members on the final draft. Yesterday evening on Tonight Il Vitara, the high-level experts said that the revised draft did in fact reflect the opinions of the Ministry of Justice and the Democratic Party. However, not all of these opinions were included in the draft, and therefore it seems that they have violated the agreement that was made in the presence of the internationals, which did not permit them to filter the opinions. Because of this, the draft may contain only the opinions of one part of the ruling majority. The three-way division between the experts caused so much disagreement between the members of the Commission that they simply canceled their meeting today. When contacted by Ora News, the Democratic members of the Commission claimed that they were never even notified about the meeting in the first place, but that they would be present if a meeting is called. Meanwhile, the Minister of Justice, Iuli Magnani, has once again invited the party reps to discuss the opinions of the experts. Sources from the Ad Hoc Commission say that January 12th was the deadline requested by the Venice Commission. This would have given them the opportunity to study the draft before sending their own experts to Tirana on January 21st. The former Prime Minister Sali Berisha has spoken out about the justice reform draft, saying that it is only an attempt by the majority to control the justice system. Berisha said today that the group of experts that were contracted by the Socialist Party did not follow the Venice Commission recommendations. The reform has a fierce opponent, he said, and his name is Rama. He appointed experts who have a conflict of interest. Fatmir Jafai is a representative of drug gangs, and this is documented, said Mr. Berisha. The Democratic leader praised the contribution of the U.S. ambassador, claiming that the Democratic Party has the support of the internationals when it comes to the justice reform. He went on, "I respect the great efforts of the U.S. ambassador on this reform. The Venice Commission recommendations are the compass for the justice reform, and when Ambassador Liu gave them to me, I noted that he supports them." Mr. Berisha believes that a discussion by the political representatives might be able to unblock this process, as according to him, the socialist experts were ordered not to follow the Venice recommendations. Berisha received the rumors he rejected the rumors that Rama might buy the votes from the opposition in order to ensure the 93 votes that are necessary to approve the changes. The high-level experts have commented on the judicial reform for the very first time on public television. Invited to the Ora News program Tonight Il Vitare, they explained their proposals for the draft and spoke about the pressure they were under when working on the important reform. They also talked about their discussions with the Democratic experts and the failure to find consensus with them on the qualified majority it should take to elect new justice institution members. According to them, the opposition was not pushed out. They excluded themselves from the process. The opposition set the condition that if their proposal of a 93-vote qualified majority was not accepted, they would abandon the meetings. In addition, they would not accept the idea of sending two proposals to the Venice Commission. The experts told us that they had suggested a qualified majority of 84 votes, since a majority of 93 votes cannot be reached by the current parliament. Concerning the mandate of the Prosecutor General, they explained that he does not need to be terminated immediately. His mandate will be terminated later once all the institutions suggested in the draft are created. The dismissal of 537 water company employees has been justified by the vice director as a restructuring of the company. The director himself did not show up at the office today, avoiding the questions of the media and the people he dismissed. The vice director spoke in his place. When the company has a debt of 60 million euro, we considered a restructuring to be reasonable. We decided to cut all of our duplicated jobs. We have taken care to respect the legal proceedings contained in the labor code, he said. He declined to comment on how this massive debt has been accumulated. According to the statements of the Association of the Dismissed from the Public Administration, 570 people have lost their jobs. They will be taking their case to court, according to the association director. She said, 570 people have been dismissed without reason. Their firing is unfair, and the association will represent them in court. They are poor, and they must be returned to their jobs. The employees claim that they were dismissed without any prior notice on New Year's Eve. Together with the Ministers of Economy and Finance, the Prime Minister met today with the General Director of Customs. The hour-long meeting took place without any media presence, but sources from within the meeting said that Rama gave warning of dismissals of customs if the Customs Directorate does not improve its performance. It's reported that he told the leaders of customs that there will be penalties or dismissals if the services they offer to the business sector are not improved and if they do not increase their performance. The Prime Minister did appear to be aggravated when he left the meeting. The data shows that in November alone, the deficit from the Customs Directorate was 3.4 billion lek. The Ministry of Finance and Customs and the Customs Director have argued that the poor performance is because of higher mineral and oil prices in the international markets and because of imports of cigarettes and energy have decreased. Over the entire past year, the Customs Directorate showed the biggest shortage of revenue of all the state's revenue contributors. In the 11 months leading up to November, Customs collected 9.5 billion less than anticipated by the budget. The oil price in the international market has dropped to the lowest in 12 years. Today, a barrel was being sold for $30.40 after declining by $30 over the past 2 days. The price has now balanced somewhat at $31.70 a barrel. Once again, the international price drop is not being reflected by the Albanian market, which seems to be a recurring problem. Despite a fairly drastic decline in the international markets, the Albanian price has only dropped by 6 lek per liter. The experts are saying that this correspondence is not natural or appropriate. Albania is currently ranked as the 19th most expensive oil price in the world and the first in the region. The Association of Hydrocarbons explains that this is because of high taxes, which are estimated to make up 67% of the oil cost. Operators in the industry claim that the price is staying high because of greatly multiplied licensing and relicensing fees, a decision that was made by the government last December. The expectations are that the international oil will remain low over the coming weeks. More than 2 months have passed since the floods in Vlora, and the residents are saying that they have not received any compensation yet. Some of the families complain that they lost everything in the floods, and they have received only some food. They are now living in difficult situations without the means to repair their homes. Meanwhile, the municipality encourages patience, saying that the list contains about 500 families whose cases have to be reviewed. They have given assurance that these families will be compensated for their losses. In addition to reviewing this process, the compensation needs to be approved by the City Council, and there are no projections on how long that might take. Once again, thanks for joining us for our daily English news edition. Have a great evening, and see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m.